Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Poetic People Fighting Racism. The show will start in approximately 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and I will be here live. So you will be able to see me, and hopefully I will be able to see you if you want to talk to me. I will be able to see you also if that's what you would like. But if you're watching this in replay, know that you can fast forward past this spot and get right into the show. Otherwise, please stand by and the show will start in approximately 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So please stand by. Now, I also want you to know that there's several ways you can watch the show. So you can watch it from YouTube or Facebook, and there you can make comments or ask questions, and I encourage you to do that. But if you actually want to be in the show and talk to me, the best way to do that, and actually the only way you can do that, is go to my website, knowtobestill.com/podcast. And there you will see the prompts in order to talk to me on the show. And the first thing you will see is, because we've changed it so much, but you should see donate or be on the show. And when you see that, just click on that, and then you'll see another button that says talk to me. And when you see that, press the button and follow the prompts. And when you get into the audience for the show, we'll see you. We'll know you're there. And we'll let you know when we're going to pull you up to the stage. So you can ask your question or make a comment. Or we can just have a discussion about the topic of this show, which is Black President, More Racism. So get ready. We have about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I will be here live, and you will see my bright, shiny face. So get ready. Now, also during the show, you may see a QR code pop up that says talk to me. That QR code you can use with your cell phone. So instead of following the other prompts to get in the show, you can just use your cell phone and just scan that QR code, and within a few moments, you will be on the show live. So check that out too. I hope I see you soon. We've got about 20 seconds and I'll be here. Hey, look, I'm here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Poetic People Fighting Racism. I'm your host, Anthony Cordova, Tony C., the man about love. I'm just trying to spread a little love with activism living inside me. So what in the world can I do? Can you do? Can we do with just another online show? Let's see where we go when we know what we feel is real. I'm not sure if our audio is working right, so if any of you there, let us know. So let me continue. Let's show how we deal with real discrimination. Let's show how we use what we have with poetry. Let's show how we live with real racism, taking our breath away while taking our lives away. Every day we wake, we take steps to make us better and stronger the longer we live with poetry in our souls as we grow old and wise. This is why we're on this journey, because we're seen as the others, not brothers and sisters. They got us playing Twister, just waiting for us to topple down, always trying to keep us underground, but we keep rising and standing for our rights. We already have. So let's do what we do with love and poetry. Every day we can be the change we need, because we are everyday people. Creative, smart, and strong people. Poetic people fighting racism we are. Poetic people fighting racism. That's you. That's me. We are. Poetic people fighting racism. We are. Poetic people fighting racism. We are. Poetic people fighting racism. We are. Yeah. All right. We're going to get started with this show. I don't know. Let me ask my producer real quick. Is the audio good, Jill? Because I'm getting a thumbs up. So I hope that all of you that are in the audience are hearing me good. This is what I need, because I'm not hearing myself that well. But as long as you all can hear me, yay. And I think someone sent a text through that came through that shouldn't, didn't see who it was, but someone's sending text through. So here we are again. Poetic people fighting racism. This is season 3, episode 2, right? Black president, more racism. This will be interesting, because most of us think, oh, we got a black president, there'll be less racism. There were some people that said racism is over. Oh, we now know that is not accurate. Okay, so let me tell you some about this show. Now, this show was created, one, by me, but it was actually to bring some light to racism in this country and the caste system in this country. Now, many people don't believe that there is a caste system in this country. However, there is. And if you listen to some of the poems I have written in my manuscript, which is called Living and Dying, and throughout it, it talks about the beginning of slavery to present day and what we're living in now. And I talk a lot about we're still not truly free. And this is because of racism in the caste system. Now, also, I welcome all of you to make comments and ask questions. And this is a safe place. I will never get angry at you because of something you say or a question you ask. I will never, ever do that. I am trying to spread some love. I am trying to get us to understand each other. So it doesn't matter what color, what nationality, what religion you are welcome here. And this is an absolute safe place. I always want you to know that. This is really a safe place. Uh, I'm all about love. Uh, all about love. And how are we going to love one another if we don't speak to each other and have these conversations, these tough conversations, the conversations no one wants to have? And I'm also about being an everyday activist. So, what's an everyday activist? An everyday activist is a person just like you, just like me, that can do whatever it is they can do to shine a light on the racism we have and discrimination we have and all of those things that go on in this country on an everyday basis. Maybe it means you see something that is an injustice and you say something. It's that simple. Maybe if you know that there's a rally or a protest, maybe you're not the type to protest, but maybe you're the type to bring water to the protesters. Maybe you're the type to bring a snack to the protesters, a food bar, or a granola or something. I don't know, but all of these things count for being an everyday activist. And you just being at this show is also a way you can be an everyday activist, because you're helping the discussion. You even if you don't say anything during the show, you might learn something you didn't know. You might talk to someone else about that something that you didn't know before. That's a form of activism. At least in my book, it is. So do what you can do. Now, tonight, I'm going to do two poems, and one poem is used for a segue for the next. But before I start, which I will be starting in just a moment, before I do start, there's a couple of things I want you to know about, which are phrases that I use. And one is the blue and white eyes. Now, blue and white eyes, you'll hear me use it, throughout my manuscript, throughout my poems, the blue and white eyes. Who are the blue and white eyes? Well, the blue and white eyes are people in this country that are of European descent, people that have white skin. Now, this is not all of the people with white skin, but some of the people with white skin believe that their European blood is pure. It makes them better. The blue bloods, they're the blue bloods. But there are people that, really think they're better than other people because of the color of their skin. And quite often these are people that are in power in some type of way. And sometimes they're not in power at all. But they still feel that they're better than someone else because of the color of their skin. So that's just some of the people with white skin. It's not all of the people. So whenever you hear me make reference to the blue and white eyes, that's what I'm talking about. And then there's also decent white lives. And basically, those are the people that are just good people. They may have white skin. They may not know everything about racism, but they have no ill feelings towards someone of color. They don't feel that they're better than someone of color. They just look at everyone as people. So that's the difference with that. So tonight, I'm doing two poems, and I'm using one to slip into the other. The first one is called Slipping. That's going to be interesting. And the second one is called It Don't Matter. I'm not going to say where one begins and when one ends. You will kind of see that and you'll know, okay, I think this is a different poem now. But one segues into the other. And many of my poems do that, and I have written the manuscript that way. So here we go. I'm going to press a button, and let's hope I press the right button. Because on the first show, I was pressing all the wrong buttons. And I love that I can laugh at myself because I don't want to take anything too serious. You know, let's laugh. Let's have some fun. If I make a mistake, okay, I made a mistake. All right, I'm going to get over it. You're going to get over it, and we're all going to be good. So here's the poems for tonight. See, 2009, they saw their future. A landslide election. The blue and white eyes seeing the beginning of their demise. Their power is slipping. Their complete control over black lives in this country of lies is slipping. Their American dream is dying. Their 400 years or so of oppressive power and systemic racism inflicted on black lives and all minority lives in this country of lies is dying. Their dream is dying. Their white dream to be supreme. See the blue and white eyes losing their power. Soon, white lives will become minority lives. See, their power is slipping. Their power is dying. See, white lives become minority lives. Black lives see systemic racism and oppressive power hiding under the old red, white, and blue. Blue and white eyes trying to make Jim Crow come true. To make Jim Crow their savior with a resurrection and an insurrection. A desperate attempt to hold on to oppressive power, to hold on to systemic racism and the American caste system. In the land of white dreams, in the land of many lies to black lives, their time is numbered. See them running, desperate, confused, and lost. See what they're trying. Blue and white eyes willing to kill decent white lives and any black lives, any lives that get in their way. Decent Americans will not stand by and die while blue and white eyes try to resurrect Jim Crow. So what's next? What's next? We see them coming. What's next? A resurrection and an insurrection, same thing again and again. See and remember them again and again, over and over again. We are trying to find a place to be free, to be equal to everyone we see in this country of lies, this country built on the backs and the bones and the sweat and the tears and the years of black lives in this country. In this country, the blue and white eyes try to justify the evil deeds they do to make white dreams come true, to live the American dream. The blue and white eyes dream and believe they are supreme to all black lives. And it don't matter It don't matter what kind of black life in America we are. It don't matter what kind of black life in America we see ourselves as. It don't matter how much education we have or will never have. It don't matter how big our houses are or what kind of cars we drive. It don't matter what kind of clothes we wear or how wealthy we are. Through the view of the blue and white eyes, we still don't matter. It still don't matter what type of black life in America we are or what we might become. It still don't matter. It still won't matter. We could be the type of black life in America that becomes the first black woman or the first black man, the first black president of the United States of America, the most powerful black person in this country of lies. We could be the type of black life in America that cures world hunger. We could be the type of black life in America that ends homelessness. We could be the type of black life in America that is responsible for creating peace all over the world. We could be, well, every place in the world except here. With the blue and white eyes that control our lives in this country of lies where we live and die, we could be all of these things and more, and still be shackled to doors behind locked doors, can't rise through ceilings. We'll still be dealing and feeling and living and dying and crying and living and dying from a systemic racism in America's caste system, ingrained in the bones and brains of black lives and white lives in this country of lies. Two systems feeding on black lives, trying to survive before we die. Two systems helping white lives live and thrive over our dying black lives. We still won't matter. We still don't matter. It still don't matter. Just less than. Just living and dying for the melanin in our skin, the darkness of our skin. All right, that is the end of that. Two poems. That's right. One, they're slipping. The other, it don't matter. And I could see, you could see the difference and how they join together. Now, I don't know if anyone has any questions on this topic. I don't believe so. And that's okay, because I can just talk about this topic, which is no problem for me at all. So what I typically do is, once I do a poem, I will go back and I will look through the poem and I will focus on some key spots of the poem. So let's go back to where I started. And the first part of this was the poem called Slipping. And I start out with C, 2009. C, 2009. They saw their future. Now, 2009, as many of you know, is when Barack Obama was elected president. From the very start, it was said that he stole the election. He stole the election. Oh, he stole the election. Ooh. No, he didn't steal the election, and it was a landslide. You know, it wasn't like it just got by at the skin of his chinny chin chin. It was a landslide election. And right here, this is in the second line of the poem, the blue and white eyes seeing the beginning of their demise. So seeing a black president being elected is like a shock. How can this be? How can this be? These black people used to be our slaves. And now one is the president of the United States. Oh my God. What's going to happen? Is this black man now going to put us all in chains for revenge? To pay us back for what we've done to them? Oh, the fear. So there's real fear from having a black president in this country. Because the blue and white eyes know exactly what they've done to black people in this country. They want to act like it wasn't such a horrible thing. They want to act like, oh, we were happy as slaves. Oh, yes. That story was told to me from when I was in elementary school. I remember the first time that story was told to me. I was in the first grade. And I heard that story all the way through middle school, that we were happy as slaves. And here's what's funny. They're trying to bring that story back. Okay? I mean, truly, they're trying to bring the story back by saying we gained great skills as slaves. We learned to be blacksmiths. We learned to be better cooks. We learned to be better farmers. Most of those skills enslaved people had before they were brought here. Okay? They already knew how to do these things. But oh my goodness, we should be happy that we gained these skills as enslaved people. This I can tell you. No one in the whole world has ever been happy being enslaved. No one. No matter what kind of story they try to tell, the blue and white eyes try to tell, no one has ever been happy being enslaved. Who would be? Would you be happy being enslaved? I mean, really? Would you be? I don't think so. No. So let me go back. Okay. I say the American dream is dying. There are 400 years or so of oppressive power and systemic racism inflicted on black lives and all minority lives in this country of lies. It's dying. Their dream is dying. So the American dream. I have a real problem with the American dream. This dream. And what is the American dream? You know, it's been said the American dream is, to have a house and car and chicken in a pot and all of this stuff. But the American dream is much harder to obtain if you're a person of color. A person that is white in this country can basically move wherever they want in this country. And they don't have to worry about what may happen when they move to a certain place. All they have to do is choose the schools, the neighborhood, and this and that. They don't have to worry about how their neighbors are going to treat them. They don't have to worry if the neighbors drive by in a car and say, "Go back to Africa, go back to where you come from." A white person has never experienced that. They don't have to worry about going to a real estate agent, and the real estate agent will only show them neighborhoods where black people live. See, a white person in this country doesn't have to worry about these things. But yet, a person in this country, a black person, a person of color in this country, has to be concerned about these things. You know, once upon a time, I would say, and I was much younger then, I would say, I don't want to move to a neighborhood where I'm not welcome. Which meant I didn't want to move to a white neighborhood. But as I got older and I began to learn certain things, to learn that real estate agents and along with different governments decide where the black neighborhoods are going to be. And that's called redlining. So basically, they would draw a red line around certain communities, certain parts of towns, you know, like the other side of the tracks. And that would be the only place they would sell homes to people of colors. And they would inflate the prices and then devalue the property. So once I learned all of those things, I realized, you know what? I have a responsibility. Now, everyone may not choose this, but I decided I have a responsibility to move to a white neighborhood. And I did exactly that. And in the white neighborhood, oh, yes, I have been the victim of racism. But this is my part of being an everyday activist. It's, you're going to see me. You may not like me. You may not want me here, but you're going to see me. And while you're seeing me, you're going to realize, or hopefully you begin to realize, oh my gosh, he's not much different than I am. Oh my gosh, he goes out and cuts his grass just like I do. Oh my gosh, they go to the grocery store just like I do. Oh my gosh, he has a cookout just like I would. We're not that different. If you're using the color of my skin to decide how different I am, that's not a good decider. Talk to me. Learn who I am. Oh, I love the way you did that, Jill. If you want to talk to me, scan that QR code with your cell phone, and we can get you in the show in just a few minutes. Because I really would like you here, and so we can have this conversation. And remember, I'm all about love. I'm all about love. I want you to know who I am. I want to know who you are. And we can talk about it with a smile. Okay, so Let's move on. Let's move on to something else. So anyway, it Barack Obama becoming president really put fear into a lot of people because they were afraid that Barack Obama would try to do the same thing that was done to us, which is absolutely, excuse me, ridiculous. All right. Let's jump down to, let me see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's use this. Black lives see systemic racism and oppressive power hiding under the old red, white, and blue. The blue and white eyes trying to make Jim Crow come true, to make Jim Crow their savior with a resurrection in an insurrection. So the insurrection was all about taking power back. Now, taking what power back? The reality is there was no power to take back because it was never lost. The blue and white eyes are still in power. The blue and white eyes were in power when Barack Obama was president. The blue and white eyes are still in power to this day. Black people in America don't hold the wealth. They don't hold the power of government. You know, there's some of us within the government and all of that, but ultimately, we don't hold the ultimate power. And even when Barack Obama was president, he got fought every step of the way. And people would try to bring him down every step of the way in fear of losing power. Now, where I have trying to resurrect Jim Crow. Now, Jim Crow laws, were put into effect to keep black people in place after 1865. So if black people were no longer being enslaved, how do you keep them under control? By making laws to keep black people in place. Like, for instance, black water fountain, white water fountain, black bathroom, white bathroom. If a black person was walking down the street, they would have to move the sidewalk. The black person would have to look to the ground and get off the sidewalk so a white person could walk by. And if they didn't, there was a high possibility that they would be lynched. And then they would make an event of it. They would lynch the black person in the town square for everyone to see. And the white people would celebrate and have picnics and bring their children. Can you imagine that? I mean, really think about it. Would you take your child to a lynching? Would you? I bet you there are some people, even today, would. It's an awful place we live in. And the hatred some people have for other people because they are different. It's about superiority and feeling better than someone else. It's a kind of sadistic behavior. Yes, I believe my producer has a comment.
I have a question.
You have a question, my producer. Yes. And as you all know, this is Jill, my producer, my lovely wife, that keeps me straight, on point. That's what she does.
Well, I don't know about all that, but all right. My question is, you just said we live in an awful place, but I've also heard you say you love this country. So
I do.
many people don't understand that. Can you explain?
I can absolutely explain that without a problem. As awful as some of the things are in this country, there are some things that are very, very good. Like, for instance, I have worked for myself just about my entire life. I will start a business in an instant. The same way people take new jobs, I will start a new business that way. And in other countries, I would not be able to do that. Now, you may think, well, if you can start a business, oh, everything is equal here. You're a person of color, and if you can start a business, all is good. Not exactly. Whenever I start a business, just about always, there are one of the blue and white eyes trying to take me down. There is a blue and white eye that doesn't want to do business with me because of the color of my skin. There is someone quite often that will tell lies about the performance of my business, the way I do business, and just spread lies about it, just because. They might not even be my competitor, and they will spread lies. Why? Just to keep me down because of the color of my skin. So there's many, many things I love about this country. I love that I can get in my car and drive across the country. You can't do that in a lot of countries. But even to this day, if I drive across the country, I need to be careful where I stop. And you may say, oh, not today. Oh, yes, today. And I've been all over the country. I've been more places in this country than most people. And this is true to this day. So yeah, there are things I don't like about this country, but there are many things I love about this country. I love that we can vote. Everybody can vote. But again, to this day, the blue and white eyes are trying to do things to us to prevent us from voting, changing precincts at the last minute. Don't give anyone water in line at a polling place. Why are the precincts in black areas, why do they have long lines? And why do the machines keep breaking down? And why do all of these things happen mostly in black precincts? Why? Maybe it's a coincidence. I don't think so. So yes, I do love this country. And I do believe in love. And I do believe we should learn about each other and learn to love each other. And that goes by talking to each other without anger. Without anger. I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to move a little faster through the poem. And let's see what we're going to pick out next. This is back on the insurrection. So, in the insurrection, we see them running, desperate, confused, and lost. See what they're trying. The blue and white eyes willing to kill decent white lives. Now, see, at that point, during the insurrection, they didn't care who they killed. If they wasn't for them or with them, they felt, oh, the person's against me. Okay, you have Capitol Police trying to do their job and protect and serve. But if you weren't trying to kill and destroy, they wanted to kill you. And they were successful also. No. And then they try to paint a picture. Oh, they were just nice people. It just got a little out of control. Yeah, right. It was all planned out. We know that. There's evidence that shows that. Let's see. I have here, decent Americans will not stand by. Will not stand by and die while blue and white eyes try to resurrect Jim Crow. Now that line actually was kind of wishful thinking on my part. Certainly decent Americans, decent white lives will try to stop what goes on. But maybe not. You know, we can count on people to, or try to count on people to do the right thing, but people are people. People are flawed. And they may not do the right thing, even though they know what the right thing is. So, oh yeah, I was gonna move on, but I gotta go through this next one. So what's next? A resurrection and an insurrection. The same thing again and again. See and remember them again and again, over and over again. Now, what I mean by that is I believe, this is only my opinion. I have no way to prove this. This is just my opinion. That there will be another insurrection. The first one was kind of a test run. And do you know that's how terrorists do it? They do the same thing. They do test runs to see how far they can get. And each time they get better and better. So I do believe there will be another insurrection. Okay, now I'm looking at time. I got like 15 minutes. I always said 30 minutes to an hour. I said 30 minutes if anyone speaks or asks questions. However, no one has been asking questions. So it seems like it would be 30 minutes. But nope, not tonight. I'm going to keep on going. The show will be ending soon. Now, what I'm getting into now is the part of the poem, the next poem, which is It Don't Matter. So let me go a little bit faster. Okay. The blue and white eyes dream and believe they are supreme to all black lives. That is accurate. And it don't matter. It don't matter what kind of black life we are. And the deal is, when Barack Obama became president, uh, the racism was actually ratcheted up. It actually got worse. Um, so it doesn't matter who we are, what we are, how educated we are. It doesn't matter. We can do all that we can do. But the moment the blue and white eyes see our skin color, things change. You know, if you could be on the phone with someone and they may not know that you're black, and they'll be all buddy buddy, everything is cool, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all is great until they meet you in person or see a picture of you. And then they'll say, I didn't know you were black. You don't sound black. What does a black person sound like? Please tell me. Please show me. Come on right now and tell me. Be part of the show. Talk to me. Tell me what a black person sounds like. I want to know. I really do. Because maybe I'm clueless. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know everything, but maybe I am clueless. So what I'm saying through all of that part is, it doesn't matter what we do. Doesn't matter how educated we are. Doesn't matter where we live or the size of our house or what kind of cars we drive, what kind of clothes we wear. Doesn't matter. The moment they see the color of their skin, they have made a decision that we are less than. When I say less than, that means less than them. Okay? So that is that. And it don't matter. Even if the black person, does great things, cures world hunger, no, we won't be seen any better. We'll still be seen as a black man or a black woman somehow less than. There are many brilliant black people, and then they still run into the same thing all the time. So that's an awful thing. So I go, we could do all of these great things except here. Because the blue and white eyes will still see us as less than. We'll still be pulled over when we're driving our cars more. We'll still be shot more. We'll still be judged wrongly more. So it doesn't matter. I say we could do all of these things and more and still be shackled to floors. So we're still being held down. That is what that meant. Behind locked doors. What are the locked doors? Locked doors are in the corporate world. Locked doors are in neighborhoods that we're not allowed to move to or made very difficult for us to move to. Can't rise, behind locked doors, can't rise through ceilings. I'm referring to glass ceilings in the corporate world. And what's a glass ceiling? It's a ceiling that we can't see. It's just this, it's not imaginary, but we can't see it. And we try to rise in the corporate world, but will only be allowed to get to a certain height. And that's hitting that glass ceiling that we talk about. Or, let me tell you this, this is a tactic that's used all the time. They will, and I hope you all understand exactly what I'm saying, and I'm going to try to make this clear. They will take a black person and promote them to a position that they may not be qualified for. It's like if you have a black janitor and you make him the CEO of this major corporation, he may not have the experience to do that job. And then when he or she doesn't do a good job, they fire them and say they were incompetent. They couldn't do the job. And the deal is they couldn't do the job. They weren't qualified. They shouldn't have been put in that position. But the blue and white eyes will put them in that position just so they can say, see, we hired a black person to that position and they screwed it up. They were put into a position to fail. And let me tell you this. Have you ever noticed, and this I want you all to research, have you ever noticed when a black person becomes a mayor of a city for the first time, that the city is already in disarray? The city is in shambles. Crime is horrible. Crime is high. The finances of the city are awful. The city's infrastructure is crumbling. And that's when a person of color gets elected to that position. That is no coincidence. Do your research and look. You'll see a pattern of that. And then when through all odds, all of these overwhelming odds against them of turning around the city, when they turn around the city, now it's time to bring a white person back in office. Everything is cleaned up. The person of color has done all the work. Check that out. Whoo! This is just insane. I got about 7 minutes. Well, actually, I can end the show sooner, but I'm going to keep on going. But I'm not going to go past an hour. My producer, I won't do it. I won't do it. All right. And I'm almost finished. Let me see. I can skip over that. I hear about two systems: feeding black lives, trying to survive before we die; two systems helping white lives thrive over our dying black lives. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? So you have the caste system, which keeps us on the bottom of the list. In this country, black people, people that were descendants of enslaved people in this country, are seen as the lowest of the low, the bottom. That's in the caste system. And then throughout that, if you go up, there's another race of people and another race of people, and it keeps going up. And the white people of this country are always on the top. So that keeps white people thriving. It does. And racism also keeps black people down. So these two systems work in conjunction with each other in order to keep black people down and to keep white people up. This is what goes on in this country every day. This is how the country was devised. So we can do many things, but we have these two systems working against us. And it makes it very difficult. So I keep saying it doesn't matter. But we're going to keep on trying. But it doesn't matter. We're still seen as less than. We're still being born and dying many times before our time. We're still being judged unfairly because of the color of our skin. It's still going on. It still hasn't changed. So that's about it for the show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. It's my evil laugh. And I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something tonight. So I'm going to start closing out this show with outro music. Yes, I am. What do we got? There's a couple of things I want you to know. I want you to remember to be an everyday activist. I also want you to be love, to show love. I also want you to do something different. Speak to someone maybe you wouldn't have spoken to before. Drive a different way to work. Do something different. Do something nice. Do something for a homeless person. Even if you think they're faking it, just do something. Do something nice. Do something different. Change your life. When you do something different, things will change. Also, the music you hear now, which is my intro music and outro music, is called Stand Up Bass, and that's by Toby Bilski. Okay, you can check his music out on beatstar.com. Also, the music I played during the poem is called Deep Enigma, and that's by Icelander. And you can check his music out on melanieloops.com. Also, my next show is on April 20th, and that's going to be episode 3. And I didn't decide what I'm going to do yet, but you'll know before then. So anyway, I love that you are all here. What else have I got? I got more. Check out Poetic People Fighting Racism, and that's this show. It's every other Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Just go to, Jill, yeah, there we go. Thank you. That's Poetic People Fighting Racism. You know all of that. Go to knowtobestill.com/podcast, and that's every other Saturday night. Also, just hit the button and press both, let them both come up. It's okay. There we go. And there's the other one, The Soul Reader, and that's with me. And I do some free readings there if you want one. And that's every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And also with that one, go to knowtobestill.com. And also check out I'm Right, 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 Jill, I'm right. There we go. 3 shows. There, my music's going away and everything. So check out I'm Right, I'm Right. And that's every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Go to Jill's website for that. And that's jillcox.com, Cordova and click the podcast tab. And remember, all of these shows you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and at our websites. So that's about it. Jill, I would like the people to see my beautiful face one more time, but if not, that's okay. I want to thank you for watching. Love you all. Until next time, I'm saying bye.